every year I like to create a clean slate for myself before the new year hits and do a few little activities that make me feel refreshed and really amplify that fresh start effect that already kind of comes around New Year's. And in this video, I'm talking about how to reset your productivity system. A productivity system is just a way of doing things that makes it easier to start doing the things that you want to do, feel really clear and organized in your head, actually achieve your goals, and get all of the little things done. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to create or reset your productivity system for the new year. I think sometimes when it comes to productivity systems, we start to feel this resistance. We're like, ugh, I don't want to use that app anymore, or I can't seem to get myself to do weekly resets or planning. And then I feel like our mind just goes, okay, well, you know what you need? A whole new app, a whole new system, a whole new life, really. And sometimes, look, maybe, but I feel like that's kind of like throwing out your car when it starts making a weird noise. Sometimes you just need to make little tweaks and changes, clean things out, make things functional again, and that's it. Step number 1 of your productivity system reset is create your capture map. So you're on a walk and you have the best idea for your future enemies to lovers fantasy novel. You're in your car, you remember that you need to buy the carrots. You're reading a book, you read a quote like this one, you know it's going to change your life. Then fast forward 5 minutes, you've forgotten about the idea, you've forgotten about the carrots, and you've forgotten about the life-changing quote. When you're resetting your productivity system, you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you in the new year. A capture map is a little map of all of the safe places for things like your ideas, your grocery list items, your tasks. So this is what my capture map looks like. It's a little excessive. My capture map is extra because I create content. Your capture map doesn't have to be extra. So what I've done firstly is mapped out all of the things that I capture. So things like book notes, article notes, to-dos, content ideas. Then I've written down why I capture these things. So for example, maybe you capture book notes so that you can study them later, or so you can use them for social media posts. Then I put down the apps that I actually use to capture these things. You want most of the things that you capture to funnel down to the same place. So for me, with article notes, they start in Readwise Reader, which I got early access to. It's amazing. They are now in public beta. And then they automatically sync with Notion. Another thing I've included in my capture map is where I want what I've captured to be resurfaced. For example, with article notes, I want them to be resurfaced when I'm writing content because that's what I mainly would use them for. And knowing that, I can set up my workspace so that they do resurface when I'm writing content. This is about making sure what you capture is actually helpful to you. Step number 2, make capturing easy. So once you know how you capture all the things that come across your mind, ask yourself, does capturing this feel easy and seamless no matter where I am? So think car, work, desk, bedroom. Do you have a way to capture on all of your devices? So your phone, your laptop, iPad, and are there any ways to make capturing this feel even easier? The harder it is to write stuff down, the less likely you'll are to write stuff down. So to make capturing easier, the first thing I'm doing is making sure that it's easy to capture on my phone. You want to be able to write down any of your thoughts with no friction. So ideally have an app on the front screen of your phone where you can click it and start writing, or voice recording. I set up the Drafts app on my phone after using another app for a little while. The Drafts app is really good for capturing. So I've set up my phone with the Drafts widget so that it's really easy to just click a plus button and it opens my little capture tool. So I just tried for about 2 hours to try to get Google Home and the Drafts app linked, and I have no patience for this. I couldn't get it working, but what I did get set up was Siri to Drafts. I set up a reminders and draft sync, which should work, so I can say to Siri, hey Siri, add this to my list. It'll add it to reminders. Reminders will sync with Drafts. That way if I'm out and about, maybe I'm in the car, I can yell at Siri and have something added to my list. Step number 3, create a bare minimum weekly reset. A weekly reset is when you wipe the slate clean and you plan for the week ahead. And I think that the temptation when it comes to a weekly reset is to create something that is elaborate and semi-ridiculous. Where like, yes, I'm going to clean my whole house, I'm going to plan my whole life, write a weekly review of all the things that went well and things that I'm grateful for, and I'm going to plan out my whole week ahead, plus I'm going to clear my inbox, and then we wonder why we can't stick to things like a weekly reset. So in this video, what I'm encouraging you to do is create a bare minimum weekly reset. Yeah, you can definitely have your extra weekly reset that's filled with all of those fun extra activities, and when you're high energy, you can do that. But create as well a bare minimum weekly reset for those weeks where you don't feel like doing all those extra things. So if I'm being honest, I have been resisting doing my weekly reset, and I hate it because I used to be the weekly reset queen. I used to adore doing my weekly reset. Like, I looked forward to it. I was like, what a good time. Let's do a weekly reset. And I fall into slumps for the same reason that everyone falls into slumps. For me, I overcomplicated it. So what I've done recently is created my bare minimum list because I realized I really need that bare minimum version for bare minimum me. My weekly reset is in Notion and it looks like this, and I've really cut it down to clear the decks, email inbox, desktop, planning the week, and then some little extras if I feel fancy. Then, of course, if you scroll down, you've got my much fancier weekly reset. There are two main things that I would include in a weekly reset. Firstly, clearing the decks. So that's clearing your email inbox if you have a physical inbox. This is about making sure that you don't have anything nagging you on your mind of like, ooh, I didn't get back to that email, or oh, there's that bill that I still haven't paid. And number two, planning the week ahead. So this can be as simple as writing down a little to-do list for the week. Anything above and beyond that, optional. And that might not be the case for you. You might have your own things that are mandatory. Put those on your bare minimum list. That everything else should be seen as an add-on. If you're like, yes, I want to create a weekly planning routine. I want it to be very customized to me. I have a whole video detailing how to create a weekly planning routine that is ideal for you and your personality. I'll have that link down in the description. If you find that you resist your weekly reset, and I've definitely been there, especially in the last 6 months, usually it's because of a few things. Number one, you're overcomplicating it. Number two, it is too hard to maintain. You haven't gone with the bare minimum. Or maybe you've just added things in slowly over time that aren't necessary and never gotten rid of them. Number three, the things on your list just aren't that helpful. They don't feel that rewarding to do because you don't get enough from them. So if you've been resisting your weekly planning, daily planning routine, use this as a chance to revisit it, refresh it. More often than not, that's all that you need. So I work with one big master to-do list that has all of my to-dos in it in Notion. And something I want to do before the end of the year so that my weekly planning routine is easy is clear this list out, because sometimes we write things down on our to-do list and then we don't touch them for 3 to 4 months. Even though we know we probably will never get to them, it's kind of like leaving stale food in the fridge. So I'm going to go through my master to-do list now, really clear it out. Something else you can do if you use a master to-do list like me is simplify all of your tagging. So if at some point you decided that what you needed to be productive was to tag all of your tasks with energy, impact, context, amount of time, just take a step back and ask yourself, which of those tags do I actually use? Is there a way to simplify your to-do list? So these are the contexts that I use. I just did a little declutter. This used to be like maybe 10 different tags. These I only really use on a life admin day. For me in general, I know myself well, the simpler the better. The more complex I make things, the more I resist them. Step number 4, create your bare minimum daily planning routine. So if you don't already have a daily planning routine, or maybe you started out last year with the best daily planning routine and then it just slowly died, here are some ideas of daily planning routines that you can take. Make your own, remix. Number 1, the Resistance Zero method by Mark Forster. Write a big list of every single thing that you have to do. Starting at the end of the list, scan through and put a dot against anything that you feel no resistance towards. Starting from the end of your list, take action on everything that you have dotted. Repeat that over and over again. Mark's big thing with this is that you need to take the scanning part seriously. So you're slow scanning your list, reading every single item, really taking everything in. His idea is the more that you read these to-dos, the less resistance you feel towards them. If you skip the scanning, your resistance is just going to keep on rising. Number 2, the daily 3 method. So every single day, just get out a little post-it note. At the top, you want to put your MIT, your most important thing. This is the one thing that if you get it done today, you will be happy. Then put your 2 nice to-dos. These things, it'd be great if you did them, but if you don't, it's all good. Don't do anything outside of these 3 things until they are done. Number 3, the no list method. Write down one thing that you want to do. Do it. Cross it off. Write down the next thing that you want to do. Keep on repeating that process. Number 4, the time box method. Every night, hop into your Google Calendar and time block out the next day. You can block in things like fun, you can block in things like rest, but the idea is to try and stick to your time block as strongly as you can. Number 5, give every day a theme. And then when you reach a day with a theme, write down all of the tasks that fit into that theme that you have to do. So for example, you might have an admin day. On your admin day, you write down a list of everything administrative that you need to do. You try to get through all of it. Number 6, the weekly list only. So if you already have a weekly planning routine in place, you've created a weekly list, don't create a daily list. Just go back to your weekly list every single day until you've checked everything off. So once you've got your capture map, your bare minimum weekly reset, and your bare minimum daily reset routine, here are some extra things that you can do to reset your productivity. Number 1, get a monthly reset routine going. Create a bare minimum monthly reset. Once again, you can create the extra monthly reset, but also do a bare minimum one too. Unsubscribe from all of your emails. If you're like me, sometimes your email inbox turns into a to-do list of its own and it feels really overwhelming, especially around Black Friday was when I really realized my email inbox is too much for me. So to counteract that, actually search for unsubscribe in your email so that you get all of the emails that have that unsubscribe down the bottom, and go through unsubscribe from anything that you don't actually read or want to be seeing regularly. Clean up your Notion pages. So go through your sidebar. What of those Notion pages do you use? What don't you use? Go through the pages that you use the most often and look at each section and ask yourself, do I use this? Is it functional? Is it serving me in the best way that it could be? What's working here? What's not working here? Clear out your notebooks, declutter your notebooks. For 2023, pick a few notebooks, pick their specific purpose, get rid of the other notebooks, or if you're not ready to get rid of them, you can just put them in storage. And if you don't touch them for a year, you can get rid of them. Optimize your desk. You might have already seen my video on optimizing your environment. I'm not sure if it's up yet. If it's not, it'll go up soon. But if you work at a desk or you have some kind of dedicated workspace, look at it and ask yourself, what do I want to start doing more of in my workspace? What's hard to do in my workspace? What's hard to get started in my workspace? What are my work goals in the new year? Then you want to start brainstorming on how you can design your environment to support all of those things happening or not happening. So if one of your work goals in the new year is to be more focused, you might have a time timer, or you might have a quick shortcut to a timer app on your desktop. If you have any other ideas on how to reset your productivity systems for the new year, chuck those in the comment section down below. Make the comment section useful. If you like this video, you're gonna like all the videos that are in my reset series. I'm gonna have those linked in the description down below. I'm basically doing a bunch of activities for the new year to help me feel refreshed, to create a clean slate, and I'm filming myself along the way, and you can watch all of them using the link on the screen. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you soon.